How you doing, Carl?
Good, good.
Don't look like much is happening down there at the fire station.
Nope, it doesn't.
What have you been up to?
Oh, cleaning out one of my rooms, had a whole bunch of furniture in it that in storage from people that moved, and I ended up with a whole room full of it. So I'm getting rid of it today.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I got a lot of junk around here I could definitely get rid of. Never know when I might need it though.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, this was some pretty good junk. It was a entertainment center, really nice one. A couple decades ago,
Yeah,
and a big solid wood desk.
yeah. Those are hard to come by.
Yeah, I'm sure that between the entertainment center and the desk, that it was a couple $1,000s.
Yeah, I bet that desk was definitely heavy too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've still got it. Yeah, I had intended on using it myself, but oh, it's just not. Uh, it doesn't fit in any of my rooms.
Yeah, yeah. I had that same problem. The guy that I used to work with gave me a wooden desk, and I went over there and got it and brought it home, and it sat there for years. I finally gave it away. It was
Uh,
pretty big. It was pretty big too, for what I needed, and heavy son of a gun, man. But it's real wood.
yeah, this is real wood. The drawers are real wood, dovetailed.
Yep. So this guy gave me this. It's probably been 25 years ago. His name was Alvin Cox. He lived in Yukon. I worked at Seagate Technology. It's over there. I worked in building 102. It was the engineering area at Morgan Road in Reno. So we wasn't very far from Yukon. And we went over there on the lunch hour and loaded that sucker up in my pickup.
Yeah, I used to live over there off of Melrose and Rockwell.
Yeah, I know where that's at. As a matter of fact, there was a Seagate building over there. I don't remember the building number, but my wife worked there for a while in that building. Are
Yeah,
you
so,
are you retired?
supposedly,
Go ahead, Carl.
um, hopefully my neighbor over here has a little handy talkie that he was wanting some help programming, and
Hmm.
he might show up there at the fire station tonight.
Yeah, that'd be good. Those guys can do it.
Yeah, I asked them about it last week, and there were several of them that raised their hands, said that they could help.
I've got a little Yaesu handy talkie, and I haven't tried to program or change anything in that thing for years. I'd have to read the book again. Hello, Bill.
Hello there.
You you on the air?
Well, I've got some show and tell for tonight.
All right, let's see it.
Okay.
I'm always up for show and tell, Bill.
Okay.
What do you
Let's
got
see.
there?
That's Yaesu DX10.
Oh, you bought one. All right. That was
There it is.
the receiver part of that's pretty high on Sherwood's list too.
Yeah, it is. Number 3.
Yeah, and I think that's good. What? So is that 160 through 6, or has it
Right.
got VHF on it, or
No, just 6 meters.
yeah? Okay, 160 through 6. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's a $1,500 one.
Yeah.
You got it pretty quick.
You wouldn't believe how quick I got it. I wanted to get the $100 rebate, and I waited kind of for the last. And then I ordered it one afternoon,
Mhm.
and it arrived the next morning
Wow. Who'd you get it from?
from ham radio outlet.
In Texas or Colorado?
Yeah, the unit itself came out of the Dallas area, so you know
Yeah.
it just came straight
Yeah.
through. The
Yeah.
power supply came out of their Phoenix store.
Mhm. So what kind of power supply did you order?
Well, I'll show you that.
I'll tell you before you show it to me, I'm a linear power supply guy. And
Well,
I'll be able to tell you that that's a switching power supply.
that's a switching power supply.
Yeah. What kind is it? I can't see that.
It's
So-
a Samlex. I don't know if you can read that.
Oh,
or not,
yeah,
but it's a-
yeah. Oh, yeah. At least I recognize the name.
That's
I'm not-
yeah. It got good ratings. But you're right, it is definitely a switching power supply. It's not
Yeah.
no transformer. Well, a little transformer.
I use these Astron 30 amp power supplies for everything.
What brand?
Astron. It's a linear power supply. ASTRON. It's got a transformer in it. They're heavy.
Yeah. A big transformer.
Also, if they break, you can fix them. When switching power supply breaks, it breaks.
It breaks bad, huh?
Yeah, and I've seen them take out the radio that was hooked.
Oh,
to it.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wish you hadn't told me
Well, a friend of mine lived in Watauga, had a new Kenwood TS590, and he had a switching power supply, and it was a fairly new switching power supply. It was probably about a year old, but he went in there and powered it up, and the voltage went way over 12 volts, up to about 30 volts.
Oh,
And
wow.
it burned up his new radio.
Oh,
And he went back to the power supply manufacturer and told them about it. And they said, well, send it to us and we'll fix it.
the
They didn't
power
say anything
supply.
about the radio, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll fix the power supply.
Yeah.
Your problem is the radio.
So,
And then
I worked at Seagate Technology in engineering department, and the manufacturing used some switching power supplies to test these hard disk drives. Man, they had big racks of hard disk drives running 24/7 in a random seek mode. The code was built on the hard disk drive to run itself and
You're live.
self-test.
Well, Ken, I didn't know you worked at Seagate. That's where I come from.
Is that right?
Yeah, I worked for them for
I can hear him
31
up there.
years.
I worked there for 27 years.
It's too tall.
In Oklahoma City?
that I retired.
That's good.
There's
Hey,
that
guys.
banker. I retired in 2000 from Building 102 Engineering Department.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we passed each other in the hall a million
Yeah, you
times.
do kind of look familiar. Where did you work at, Bill?
I worked in manufacturing engineering. We built and designed and built the automated assembly equipment.
What building was you in?
Well, I was in 101.
I was in 102, upstairs in 102, in the design engineering.
Well, I was downstairs in 102 for the last 10 years or so. I don't know, 8 years or something.
Was
After they
you,
built the new building on, we moved over there.
was you there in 2000, whenever I retired?
I was there. I didn't retire until 2003,
Mhm.
like
Yep.
February of 03.
You know, we had this off-site thing where they told all us old guys that were, I think if you had to be 60, 59 and a half or older, and they would pay you off and get rid of you. And they said that they was going to give us 2 weeks to think about it. And I said, wait a minute, I've already thought about it. Where's my money? You know, that didn't take me 2 minutes to think about it.
So how long were you out there?
Huh?
How many years?
27.
Wow. Yeah. Who did you work for?
I worked in the engineering lab. I worked for John Ryder, Steve Genheimer, a bunch of those guys.
Yeah, knew them all.
I worked in design part up there. Did you know Charles Bussard?
Oh, yeah.
Him and I worked on the read circuit for a lot of those hard drives. That's what we did. Hey, I heard recently that he passed away not.
Oh, really?
too
That's
long
too
ago,
bad.
yeah. He was younger than me.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot of them younger than me that's gone.
Yeah. I know. I'm
evening.
trying to keep.
Hello, Bill.
Yes.
Where is everybody?
Well, the most important ones are here.
Okay. All right.
The other Bill, he bought a new transceiver.
Uh-huh. What did you get?
Bill?
What did you get, Bill?
I got the Yaesu DX10.
Well, good, good. I'm a Yaesu guy. I'm proud that you didn't get a ICOM 7300.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
me
that
too.
was
Although
my second. That was my second choice, but
I wouldn't say that when there was a big group on here because most of them have them. But I think you did good.
Yeah,
I still like Kenwoods. I had a lot of Kenwoods over the years, and I had good luck with them. But about 10 years ago, I went to Elecraft K3s. I had 2 of them, and that is the best transceiver that I've ever had. And I sold one of them recently to a ham here in Shawnee with the intentions of putting that money toward buying a K4 when they come out. But man, they're dragging their feet, and I'm getting tired of waiting on them. And I'm short a transceiver now because I'm used to having 2 of them. And so I can set one up for a specific reason and then have the other one to do all bands on. And right now I'm doing moon bounce, and it'd be nice to have a transceiver just to dedicate to my 70 centimeter moon bounce.
Elecraft can't supply them now.
Oh, they're building K4s. They've quit building the K3s. They're doing new design, and they got hit with all this coronavirus, and they can't supply them. And
Well, it probably has a chip problem too with them. I don't know.
yeah, and they've been promising them for over a year, and it's probably been close to 2 years ago. There was some people put down full price on them, $5,000 or more, and those people been sitting there with no radio and no money for 18 months or so at least, and then a lot of them put down partial payments.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to do that. I was going to wait. I didn't want the first ones anyway. I wanted them to be out in the field and get a lot of testing before I bought one.
Right.
But who would have thought it would have been 2 years?
Yeah, really. I mean, they're gonna, that's kind of bad marketing to miss your window that much.
Oh, yeah, it's really bad marketing. But man, I don't know what else I would buy that would come close to what I want. So I wish I had my other K3 back. I told Alan, the ham that I sold it to, that we go out and eat on Friday, and he's one of the ones that goes out with us. I told him a couple of weeks ago, I said, wish I had my K3 back. He said, too bad.
Too bad you're not getting it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I don't
Bill,
know.
you got an antenna up and ready to go?
Well, I've spent the last 2 days on the phone with DX Engineering and with a company called Universal Towers.
Yeah, I know them well.
And I ordered today, I ordered a 40-foot freestanding aluminum tower from Universal. And I ordered yesterday, I ordered the hex beam from DX Engineering,
Mhm.
their version of the hex beam.
Yeah.
Their version doesn't have 6 meters on it. The one I was trying to get a hold of is made by a ham up somewhere up northeast, and he manufactures them, and he has a real good reputation. But I called and talked to him, and he said, I'll put your name on the list, but I can't get the fiberglass poles.
Yeah. I was building 630 meter amplifiers, and whenever the coronavirus first came out, the company that I bought heat sinks from, the government would not allow them to sell heat sinks until they furnished the government. And so I couldn't get any heat sinks. I was about ready to quit building them anyway. I'd built them, I was getting tired. But who would have thought that?
Is that the aluminum finned heat sinks?
Yeah. Mhm.
Air cooled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the tower, that's a pretty high dollar tower, isn't it?
Well, actually, it's not that it wasn't that expensive. I mean, I bought one called the 740, and it was a little over $1,000. I don't remember what it was with freight and everything, but
So it's in, how long are the sections? 10-foot sections or?
yeah, they're 10 foot. There's it's tapered as it goes up, or
Yeah.
some of the sections are tapered.
Yeah, most all them freestanding ones are. So how big of a concrete base do they recommend?
3 by 3 square, 4 foot deep.
That sounds
Comes
right.
out one and a half
Yards.
yards.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad compared to some of the freestanders that want you to go like 5 by 5 by 5 or 6 feet deep. I mean, they want like 5 or 6 yards of concrete.
That's a lot of concrete.
But this thing doesn't weigh anything. I mean, it's I think it only weighs like 90 pounds total.
Wow. That's
Um,
amazing.
Yeah, it is. The only thing You know, the only downside to it is the size of the beam you can put on it. You can put it's 80 mile per hour wind rating is a 7 square foot beam, and that's quite a bit more than the hex beam is only like 5 square feet.
Yeah, but you may want to put more than one antenna up there.
Well, I might.
I've got 7 bands on my tower, on one of my towers, 7 ham bands.
You've got a heavy duty steel tower though.
Yeah, it's a Roan 25, 40-foot tower, and then it's got a stinger that goes up another 15 feet or so, or maybe, yeah, another 15 feet or so. And I've got several antennas on it. One big one, but
How tall is it?
it's got 4 10-foot sections, so it's 40 feet. And then
Okay.
it's got the top section is a flat top section, and it's got a rotor bearing up there that holds the load, and the rotor itself is mounted down, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 feet down from the top where the rotor sits on a rotor plate. And so that top bearing takes all the load, and the rotor just has to rotate it. But then
Well, I bought the rotor you told me to buy.
what that Yaesu 800 or
Yeah.
good. That's a good rotor, man.
Yeah.
Did you get the 800 DX?
Ugh.
I think there's a DX and a SX, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what mine is. Okay, mine's a G800 SA, and if I'd had it to do over, I'd have bought the DX. Should have told you that, but I didn't know you was gonna go spend that much money all of a sudden.
It's a G800 DXA.
Okay, that's the good one. You're in
That's
good
what I
shape.
got too.
Is that the one you have, Bill?
That's what I have also.
All right. Now, is that the one? I think that you can get a control box that maybe the box that comes with it. Can you hook it to the computer and control the rotor with a program on your computer to tell it to rotate?
I don't know. You're asking me questions. I don't know now.
I'm not sure either.
Well, the reason I say that is, see, for moon bounce, I have a program that tracks the moon, and it rotates my rotor automatically to track the moon. And even for satellite, if you want to do satellite rotation, it's nice to be able to have a rotor that you can hook to a computer and run a program to track the satellites.
But you got that 2-axis Yaesu, didn't you? So
Well,
tracker.
I have that too, and that's a G5500 that has the azimuth and elevation rotor, but it's not a real big Haas rotor, even though it is $750.
It has a mini DIN plug on the back of it.
Yeah, I bet that's it.
Says external control, so
Yes,
I guess you can probably operate it with
yeah.
a computer.
And Yaesu makes a controller, and there's other manufacturers make one that will plug into it. And there's several programs that will track it. There's some of them will track the moon and the satellites, and some of them just the moon. And before, whenever I was doing 2-meter moon bounce, I was using a K3 with a down east transverter, and it was a 25-watt transverter that converted the frequency of the K3 from 28 megahertz up to 144. And the output of that transverter, it was a 25-watt one, but I ran it at 10 watts. And the output of that drove a 1.2 kW solid state amplifier. And so I used 1.2 kW amplifier on 2-meter moon bounce. I run it at about 900 watts. And my antenna was, had 4 M² 2-meter antennas with a 33-foot boom on each one of them.
Oh, my God.
4 of them stacked together. And I can't remember. I figured out my effective radiation power one time was a little bit over 20,000 watts. So you wouldn't want to be a bird in front of it.
Yeah, this tower, it's kind of on the light duty side. I mean, you know,
Well,
that's the one thing that kind of why I was dragging my feet buying the thing. They do make a lighter, but they make a 440,
mhm.
but and I bumped it up to the 740, which has gives you more square feet, gives you 7 square feet at 80 miles an hour. And I was planning on, and I still probably will put it fairly close to the house. And then I was going to put a bracket over to the house to kind of give it some support in the middle.
You've got 10
And
acres, right?
Yeah, I do.
I wouldn't put it close to my house.
You wouldn't really?
No, it'll just pick up noise from your house.
Hmm. Well, I'll have to run coax a long way to
Well,
do something else. I don't know.
well, the way I look at it is you're probably only going to mount that tower one time. You're not going to take it down and do it again. And if you have that antenna away from your house, you won't pick up all that noise that's power lines in your house generate. And when you transmit, you won't be getting RF into your house.
Oh, that brings up a question for you. They have a choke that they sell. What was it with with the hex beam, listed with the hex beam. They have 2 different RF chokes. One of them is a bunch of ferrite beads with a long piece of heat shrink sleeving.
Yeah.
Is that something I need, you think?
Well, you can add that anytime. If you don't have RF, if your antenna is properly tuned, if you don't have a high SWR, you're probably not going to have RF coming back down the coax. RF comes down the outside of the coax when you have a high SWR. So you can add that later if you have a problem. But
yeah, that's one good thing about this tower. It is hinged at the base, so it can be laid down so I can work on the beam, and that was one of the things that I liked about it. It's not so heavy, that it can be fairly easily laid down.
Mine's pretty heavy. Mine has a tilt over tower with a gin pole and a winch, all that. But I've got a lot of weight. I've got a lot of antennas on it, and it's hard to crank up. Even though I extended the handle on my crank on my winch from about, I don't remember, that thing must have been 6 8 inches long, and I made it about 14 inches long, so I'd have some leverage.
There you go. That'll do it.
But most of the time, when I do something on my tower, I just climb it. It's too much trouble to tilt it over.
Well, that was one of the things that I didn't want to have to do, was climb a tower.
Yeah.
I
don't mind doing it as long as you use the safety harness,
I kind of got off.
Whenever I get old, I'm going to quit doing it. So.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I keep saying that every year though.
Well, I don't know. I can, of course, increase the capacity, the load capacity of the tower by putting some guy wires on it.
Yes, yeah, you could. And
But they told me definitely do not put a bracket over and hook it to the house. They said it'll just rip itself out of your house and destroy whatever you've got it bolted into.
yeah,
So the tower has to be able to lean a little bit in the wind. It does flex.
yeah,
It's not totally rigid.
yeah.
I can
And,
attest to that.
I'm sorry.
I can attest to that. We had a microburst north of Norman here. It's been several years ago. And it just wrapped my tower over the house.
Wow.
And it tore out around the fascia and where I had it mounted to the eave. So I didn't do that the next time.
Yeah, well, they told me when I mentioned that to them on the phone, I said, "Do you have some kind of a bracket that I can tie that to the house with?" They nearly went ballistic, and they said, "No, man, you can't. Don't do that. You'll be sorry if you do that."
The general premise is good, that it helps support the tower
Yeah,
or the pole.
yeah.
And that's true. It does help support it. But there's some downside to it too.
Well, you could always put a pole beside the tower in concrete and then tie it to that pole.
You know, I was thinking about that, Ken. I was thinking about putting a pole behind it in the concrete.
Yes,
Oh, maybe 10 foot high or 12 foot high,
yep.
and running a cable over it and putting a winch.
That's the way mine is.
Is it really?
Yep. I've got my tower tilts to the west, and on the east side of it, I have a steel pole in the ground. I don't remember how big it is.
It
I don't
would
think
need
it's,
to be substantial.
yeah, I can't remember. It's really thick wall. It's not drill stem, but it's something that came from the oil field. The guy gave it to me, and I cut it and hauled that sucker from his house to my house, and it was pretty hard for me and him together to load it. But
Yeah.
And I've got a pulley on the top of it, and the pulley that I kind of cut a notch in the top of that, and I put a pulley in there. It's an old pulley that came off of a cellar door, and it's much stronger than anything you see to buy now. And so I have a cable going over the top of that pulley, hooked onto my tower, and then down at the bottom, I've got a winch, and I can turn that winch to lean my tower over. And then whenever I get through working on it, I crank it back up.
About how tall is that pole from the concrete up?
I'm trying to remember. It must be about probably 18 feet.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mhm.
Do you think
Well-
do you think I need to go up 18 feet with this tower, as light as it is? Or?
Probably not, but depends on what you're going to have on it. But I don't think you do. But I would definitely go maybe 14 feet.
But I got a rotor plate too, like you said,
Mhm.
so I can mount the rotor down underneath the.
So is your tower fixed so you can have a bearing at the top?
Well, no, it's just got a sleeve up there,
Yeah,
and the mast runs through the sleeve, so the weight of the antenna is being absorbed by the rotor.
yeah,
But that hex beam that I'm putting up there doesn't weigh hardly anything.
yeah. It's not very heavy anyway.
No.
Yeah, that sounds like that'd work. Put that rotor plate down, I don't know, maybe 6-8 feet from the top, and run a mast up through there to to your hex beam.
Yeah, I had a devil of a time trying to find a piece of tubing to use for a mast.
The right diameter.
Yeah, the right diameters and the right lengths. And finally, DX Engineering said, well, here's what you need to do. They sold me two pieces, one slips inside the other.
Yeah. You could have went to Lowe's and bought a piece of galvanized pipe.
Well, I looked on Lowe's website, you know, for something that, because it had to have the right OD for the bushing at the top of the tower.
Yeah.
And it had to have the right ID for that hex beam to slip down in, because the way that hex beam mounts, it's got a stub on it, a 1 3/8 inch stub, about, I guess maybe 10 inches or 12 inches long or something like that. And it drops down into the top of your tube. So I needed a tube, 1 5/8 OD and 1 3/8 ID.
Yeah.
And I looked at Metal Supermarket and all around for something, and finally bought what they had.
Yeah. All that stuff not cheap, is it?
No, I did some damage to the credit card for sure.
Yeah.
Did you order your radio from DX Engineering?
No, I didn't. I ordered it from Ham Radio Outlet.
Okay.
And it came out of Dallas. And now I was telling Ken I ordered it one afternoon and it was here the next morning. I was
Wow.
shocked.
Oh man, me too, when he told me. I know Mike ordered a Yazoo, and it took him over a month to get it.
Well, that's one reason I went to Ham Radio Outlet, is they had them in stock.
Yeah.
And that didn't make any difference price wise. You know, they were all the same price minus that $100 discount.
Yeah.
But I thought I might find some place that wouldn't charge Oklahoma sales tax, but I couldn't find any place.
Yeah. They're just about all of them doing it now.
Yeah. And this tower is in stock, which is kind of unusual. Most of them, you know, are telling you, well, there's going to be a 2, 3, or 4 month waiting period, you know, while we go make your tower. But Universal Towers had several of them in stock. If they'd had the next heavy duty model up from this, I might have bought that. But they had the 440 and the 740. It's all they stock. And
how big's the base on that? How big a square is the base of that?
Of the tower itself, let me look here. I've got all the stuff on it.
Well, you're going to be out there digging a hole before long.
Yeah, not me. It's 1 foot 5 inches, I believe, is right on each side. 1 foot 5, 1 foot 5, and 1 foot 5. Yeah, that's right. 1 foot 5 inch between each of the 3 locating points.
I'm amazed it's that light.
Yeah, I am too. They show a picture of it, you know, in the instructions here. You know it's got a section that goes down in the concrete.
Yeah.
That just barely sticks up out of the concrete, and then and they show in the instructions, they show you just, I don't know if you can see this or not, but they show you a guy pushing it up
Yeah,
by hand.
yeah, I can see it pretty good. Mhm.
Let's see, where is it?
Yeah. Well, I guess that would depend on how big the antenna was up
Yeah.
at the top. And that's why I say to put your gin pole up 12 or 14 feet, because by the time you have a 40-foot tower up there, and then you have a mast sticking up out of that with some weight on top of that, it's going to take quite a bit. The weight's up at the top, so you're going to have some leverage to pull that up, even though the tower doesn't weigh very much. You got a lot of weight up there that you're going to have to overcome.
Yeah, I think the gin pole idea is really a good idea. I just didn't know how to make it. I used to have a whole stack of oil fill pipe out here, and I sold it all. I wish I'd have kept a little bit of it,
Yeah.
but I can go out to the pipe yard and pick up I guess, like a 2.5 inch diameter pipe, you think it'd be big enough?
4-inch.
4-inch. Wow, really?
Yeah. You're going to have a lot of weight up on top of that tower. There's a lot of leverage. When you get that thing over about past center, it's going to be pretty hard to handle.
Good evening, John.
Good evening. How are
Hello,
you, Bill?
John?
How you guys doing tonight?
Okay.
Good.
Well, I guess it depends on the wall thickness of your pipe, Bill, but I'd at least go 3 inches,
Okay.
4 if I could, but depending, whatever kind of piece of pipe you can buy, but you're going to have to have about, I don't know, 18-foot piece and put it in the ground 3 foot. That'd leave you 15 feet above ground.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I can get a 3-inch piece out at the pipe yard out here.
It'd probably be
They've got-
easier than 4-inch.
I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for towers and see if I could find a used one maybe around somewhere. And there was one in Shawnee that's 100-foot tower, and they wanted $1,000 for it, and the only provision was you had to come take it down.
Well, let me tell you, Bill, there's a lot of towers that come up occasionally that they'll give them to you if you'll take them down. So since you don't climb towers, and I wouldn't want to take one down, but you can hire someone to take it down. And a lot of them are at Roan 25, and that is really good tower stuff. Of course, the Roan 45 is even better, but not necessary for what you're doing.
Yeah, I looked at their own stuff too. The Roan, I couldn't. There's got to be a long wait on it for a tower, and
Yeah. Used to, you could buy the used Roan 25 10-foot sections for $50 a piece.
well, that'd be a bargain.
Yeah, you can't do that now. I've
I'd go-
got a few sections, but I'm not getting rid of them.
Not $50 a piece anyway.
No way, no.
Hey,
And-
Bill, who was the fella that tore down his tower? You remember him? I forgot his call.
That did what?
He tore down his tower because he said it was an eyesore in his neighborhood. Oh,
I don't know.
I can't remember. I want to say it was Ed. I think.
There was an N3 US, Ed. but he's moved away from Norman.
Yeah, but there was another fellow. I was trying to pull up the email. Anyway, he was selling a Roan tower pretty cheap. I didn't know if anybody got to it yet.
Is this recently?
Yeah, it was just a month ago. I'm gonna see if I can't pull the email up here.
I don't know who that would be.
But he said it was the last time that I was the net control. He was getting off the air for a while. Victor. It was Victor. K5VL.
Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his
He,
tower.
He had a tower with a log periodic on top of it. And he's going to go back up with a step IR.
But he was selling his tower. I think he was selling the sections. They were like $100 a section.
Was it around 25, John?
I don't know. It's been a while since I talked to him. Let's see. Hold on. Let's say.
And Bill,
Yeah, it was around 25.
Yeah.
He had a log periodic on top of it, and he was going to sell them both and replace it with a crank up of some kind.
yeah.
And that new step IR that's looks like a bow tie.
Yeah.
And he was selling his cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You look around, you can find one, and you could
But
probably.
he might still have it.
Yeah, that's true. But Bill has already bought a freestanding tower.
Oh, okay. Well, I was late to the conversation, so I'm trying to help.
Hello, Mike.
Mike,
Good evening.
Mike, did you get that Alaska yet for your worked off states?
No, I got one that I tried this afternoon, and we couldn't. I didn't even get anything back from him. And I've been checking the spot reports, and I've been doing -4s and -5s out that way, but not into Alaska.
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
one on.
There's not a lot of operators in Alaska, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, and that was on 17 meters.
There was one on the other day, and I called for you on the repeater to see if you were there.
Yeah, was it on 17 also, Bill?
Oh gosh,
Or probably
I think
15?
so. I think
Yeah.
so. I don't remember.
Well, 15, 17, 20, either one, any of those bands is pretty good bands to work Alaska on.
Yeah,
17 has been really busy.
Yeah, I always did like 17. I have a single band rotatable dipole homemade on 17 that's really nice to be able to rotate it, put it broadside to the station you're working.
Yeah.
It was a 2-element beam at one time that I built, and I was getting so much weight up on the tower, I trimmed it down to a rotatable dipole. Afraid that's going to overload my rotor with all this
yeah,
crap that I keep putting up there.
Well, if you've got that bearing in there, that takes up the,
Well, it don't help on wind load when the wind tries to rotate it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Trying to strip the gears in the
Mhm.
rotator. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this hex beam works. It's certainly got a lot of good write-ups from, people that have used them that like them really well.
I think you'll like it. I've heard nothing but good about it.
Yeah. So when's your stuff supposed to get here?
Well, the lady said that tower should be here within if not by the end of the week, early next week. The stuff from DX Engineering, I think, shipped today. So I ordered a lot of, besides the rotor, I ordered a lot of other miscellaneous stuff from them, coax connectors, lightning arresters, whole long list. And I probably didn't get everything I'm going to need, but I got everything I could think of.
You got some coax?
Yeah, I ordered DX Engineering's 400.
Yeah,
It's not
it's a copy of LMR 400.
right. That's the way I
It's
understood
still pretty
it.
low loss, so it's still good coax.
Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, Mike.
My camera's frozen up here. Got a little stray RF in the shack again, but it's a different computer that's getting affected this time.
Can't cut back on your power there,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
or fix it. Move your antenna further away from your house.
Yeah, put it out in the street.
What
Gentlemen.
radio did Bill take?
Say again, John?
I was wondering what did he get a transceiver too? What kind of transceiver did he get?
He bought a Yazoo.
Okay,
How about the DX10?
cool,
The new DX10.
nice.
John, have you ever gone to Sherwood receiver data site and looked at the specs on receivers?
I have, but it's been a while.
Well, that Yazoo that Bill bought is really close to the top of the list. What is it, Bill? 3 or 4, something like that?
Number
Yeah.
3.
Number 3 from the top. And
What's the website for the
it's-
Sherwood?
it's Sherwood receiver data or something like that. And anybody can build a transmitter. So when you look at to buy a transceiver, look at the receiver data. That's what counts.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's some transceivers, not necessarily any particular one, but through the years have had problems with transmitters because they had their local oscillator or synthesizer they use nowadays had a lot of phase noise. And what happens whenever you transmit, if you have phase noise, you get into your neighbor down the street and he's not even close to your frequency. So
Right.
that's the kind of crap you have with transmitters. But most of them can build a transmitter, but the receiver's where it's at.
Now
Jim, I'm gonna leave it with you. Have a good week and go work the DX.
Okay, Bill.
Have a good night, Bill.
See you, John.
Yeah.
that transceiver's big brother, the DX101, is on top of the
Top of the heap.
Sherwood. Yeah.
It's also up there price wise.
Oh man, tell me about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you get an additional receiver in it. It's a 2 receiver unit, but
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out exactly why I needed 2 receivers anyway. So
Well, see, the K3, you can get 2, you can add a board or another receiver board to it and have 2, but neither one of my K3s have the extra receiver in it. You got the extra VFO and you can work split, so you can go back and forth with split. And a lot of the big DX guys, they think they need two receivers, but I don't.
no, I couldn't think of any reason I needed 2 receivers, especially at that price.
Yeah.
That thing is nearly $4,000
You can buy 2 of your $1,500 ones and have 2 receivers.
and still and have money left
You have
over.
1,500 left over.
Have a radio for 100 years.
Yeah.
let's see. So mine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the radio I want's number 8.
What is it?
A Kenwood TS890S.
Yep. Oh yeah, those are. Yep. But the TS 590 is a good one for the price. I don't know where it's at on the list.
Well, I got to complete my hybrid collection, and once I complete my Kenwood hybrid collection, I'm moving on to that.
Yeah.
But I'm having trouble finding the hybrids.
Well, I got rid of all my old boat anchors whenever I bought 2K3s.
Yeah, well, come on. I love my boat anchors, man. They just, if they break, they'll just be good door stops.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to have a lot in them, and you can work on them.
Yeah, that's the thing is this 530S back here, I cleaned it up, put in a couple of new caps, and replaced all the tubes. And man, it's gangbusters.
Are you having any trouble getting tubes?
I was, but that was back 6 months ago. I finally got the 6146Bs.
Yeah.
They were expensive.
How much?
Oh, I got them from a tube store in Tennessee. I think they were about $59 a piece.
Yeah.
And the driver tube was like $12, which surprised me.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like,
I'm surprised they're not more than $59.
well, that was back last June, and I just finished this radio. Oh, I was on vacation 2 weeks ago, and that's whenever I spent most of my time working on it. And so I had some time, and I got it done. Those tubes have been sitting here for 5 months, 6 months, and I hadn't messed with it. And I used it on 10 meters. It has great reception quality.
Yeah.
And some stuff the 520 doesn't have, which really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Especially in noise level.
Well, does it have a pair of 6146s?
Yeah, it takes two 6146Bs. That's the final tubes.
It's got a pair of them in push-pull.
Yeah, those have been around for a long time.
Yes.
Well, they're using them in what did somebody tell me the story about? They said they were using them in amplifiers for musicians. I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't. Huh?
Yep.
And they said they were.
They're using those TV horizontal output tubes
Go ahead.
in those amp too.
What's that?
The TV horizontal output tubes, which is also a tube they used in ham transceivers. I think there were several numbers, and there was real close. 6BQ5 was one of them, and that was kind of after the 6146.
Right.
About the same power rating as a 6146, but they were using them because once they started manufacturing those for TV sets, the price came down. So
Yeah.
they were cheaper than 6146s.
Well, now we're not building TVs like that anymore, Ken. So
No, I'm sorry, you can't do that anymore.
so the
And
price.
I'm glad of it. I'm glad of it too.
Yeah, it's great. You can pick up a cheap TV for what, $100 now, and it's not even an issue.
Yeah, they're throwaway now.
Oh God, yeah. No doubt. They break, you just chuck them.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how electronics has come down in price over the years. All due to integrated circuits primarily, and stuffing more and more and more into one chip.
And worldwide competition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
Chinese, Korean competition.
Yep. Japan.
So it's cool. You're gonna have to show us pictures of everything set up. You're gonna have a tower crew come out and set it up, or?
I've got a friend of mine who does a lot of outside work, landscaping and that sort of thing.
Uh,
And has done concrete work and all kinds of different things. I'm going to have him and his buddy do it. I'm going to be the supervisor. That's all.
Pointing, hey, you need to do this, do this, do this. Nice.
I take him a copy of the instructions. He's got a friend that lives just kind of across the street and down a little bit, that's got a track hoe so that he can borrow, and he can dig that hole in no time. And
How
it's
tall is the tower?
40 feet.
40 feet. Okay.
Then however much mast you stick out, but
Don't need much for your antenna you're going to use.
no.
You're going to use a hex beam, John.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's going to be cool. I've heard.
He's going to have an oversized rotor in there for it. He's got more rotor than he really needs for it, but he's anticipating putting a big Yagi up there one of these days.
Okay.
No, you told me to buy an 800, so I bought an 800.
That's good. You can't believe what I'm rotating with that same rotor. I've got this big old Mosley TA36, which is a monster beam antenna, and then I've got the rotatable dipole, and I've got some 2 meter and 440 antennas and a 6 meter antenna up about 55 feet, and it's rotating all of that stuff, no problem. And that Mosley TA36 is a monster beam.
Yeah, that thing's got a mast on it, 20 foot long or something?
Wow.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. You're going to make a lot of contacts.
You're going to have a blast with that.
Oh, man. Yeah. You're going to blow it away.
Well, you're going to have to get on digital mode, Bill.
Ah.
If you want to make contacts. If you want to work all states in a few months, you need to get on digital mode.
Which one, like FT8 or what?
Yeah, that's the going thing right now. But see, Mike's making contacts right and left on FTA. And that's what everybody's doing now. So that's where you have to go if you want to make them. Yeah.
With that hex beam, he'll do better than me.
That hex beam will definitely help.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of, what are you using on HF, Mike?
I'm still using an end-fed wire 6 feet
Yeah.
above the ground.
Yeah.
In
6 feet above the ground?
6 feet?
Yes.
Wow.
It runs along
And,
the top of my wooden fence out in the backyard.
and he's got 49 states.
Huh.
He
Yeah.
just needs one more state.
Yep.
I guess that's on mixed bands.
Yes, it is mixed.
So after you get mixed bands, then you have to start working on each band.
Yep. Go for worked all states 5 bands. That's the next step.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still hunting Alaska.
Well,
Me and you both.
well, I'll tell you what, just forget about Alaska and start working a different band. Try to
Yeah.
work all bands, and Alaska will come along when you least expect it.
I thought I was going to get him this weekend, that QSO party.
I was at the marathon on Sunday, so that kind of cut the weekend in half.
Oh, well, I know I was
Yeah.
doing a bunch of junk too, but
Yeah.
but I had a couple of buddies that tell me they got Alaska, and I was so mad because that's the state I need.
Yeah.
Well, it took me, after I got all 49 states, or 48 states, I should say, on 6 meters, I had a hard time getting Alaska and Hawaii, and
And Delaware, for crying out loud.
Rhode Island was tough too. And I got Hawaii and still needed Alaska. And I was on 6 meters. It was, I think it was in June of one year when 6 meters opens up pretty good in the summertime. And I heard Alaska on there, and I was on CW and I worked him. And as soon as I finished with him, I heard another one and I worked him, and I heard another one and I worked him. I just couldn't believe Alaska was blasting in. So I sent all 3 of them a QSL card, hoping that I'd get Alaska confirmed. And all 3 of them sent me a card. And I was tickled to death. I figured I'd get one from one of them, but not all 3.
Oh,
And that's been years ago. That was a long time before FT8 was ever thought of.
So on FT8, do you still have to send QSL cards, or does the,
Oh, they do logbook of the world, man. And some of those guys upload it as soon as they log it. It automatically uploads it for them. I'm not that fancy, but
I use QRZ, and then you can load from QRZ to the logbook of the world.
yeah.
You can export it.
Is that what you do, Mike?
Yeah, well, most of my stuff goes from WSJTX onto QRZ.com. And then that daily goes and dumps on Logbook of the World.
Automatically?
Yeah, that's how I have mine set up too.
Maybe I ought to do that. I log mine on WSJTX, and then I just manually upload it to Logbook of the World.
I wish Logbook of the World was as user friendly as QRZ is, though. That was a mess trying to
It's not much trouble
figure that
the
out.
way I do it. And that's why I haven't really worked to change it.
so people really don't mail out QSL cards anymore?
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
just got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gotten a few.
I just got one today from a guy that I worked on 70 centimeter moon bounce,
Wow,
Massachusetts. I worked him a few days ago on,
I got this one yesterday.
yeah, for, is that Mexico? I didn't see it, John.
looked like the Mexican flag.
I thought it was.
No, that was Texas.
Oh,
Oh,
that
okay.
was the Texas flag, huh?
That was the Texas flag. Sorry, I was in and out with it. But I have a whole wall full of QSL cards. I'm starting to get so many that I don't know what to do with them all.
You can't believe how many QSL cards I've got, John.
I mean, yeah, I imagine. Oh, I imagine.
And Mike's got a few there.
I just have 3 from the last month.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of guys out there, but I did go ahead and buy some so I could send them back.
Yeah.
I kept mine for a long time, from way back when I was active back about 1960 and 61. Then finally, I don't know, 10 years ago, said, why am I keeping these things, and threw them all away.
Yeah, I mean, I even have my dad's. I got a box in the attic that is just full of. It's got to be 800 QSL cards.
You can't find one
Stop
from
it.
Alaska in there?
Yeah, Alaska's in there, along with a bunch of other stuff I haven't worked yet.
Well, there you go.
But that was over, that was over 70 years, 60 years or whatever.
Is that a Heathkit linear setting up on the top of your rack there?
Which one, me?
Yeah.
No, it's actually what is it? Dentron.
It's a Dentron amplifier.
Okay.
And I don't
Is
use
that-
it very much.
Is it a tube type or a solid
Yep,
state? Or?
Yep. It's got 6 sweep tubes in it.
That's some horizontal output tubes.
Yep.
V.
And can you tell I'm a tube guy?
Are them 6 BQ5s in there?
That's
They're
exactly what they are. They were more expensive than the 6146Bs.
Yeah. And they shouldn't be.
Well, now they are. They're terrible expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can find people's junk and fix it if you want to put the time into it. I lost my mind fixing it, but I got it working. But then I decided I wasn't really needed to use it because I got better with height. So, and I think I bought it from a fella who was selling an estate. He was doing an estate thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he sold it to me for $300, and I've used it twice
Yeah.
after I fixed it.
Well, it's there if you ever need it, though.
Huh? Oh yeah, you're right. So, and then I have a Gonset, Gonset, 101, what is it? Yeah, a GSB 101. And I've used it maybe twice too.
So how much power does the amp put out?
This one puts out a kilowatt,
Okay.
and the other one that I have puts out full 15.
Do you use it or do you?
I don't, because my dad did something weird to it, I think, because every time I fire the plate up, it takes my power out. So something's wrong.
Yeah, blows a breaker.
Yeah. Well, no, it takes I've taken the street light out with it too. They were pretty mad. I don't know how that happened, but all I know is I flipped that plate, that light out there went right off. It came back on, but it took my power out. So I don't know what it's doing. But I don't know how to fix it. So, and my dad was a homebrew expert. I mean, he did everything homebrew. He made his own antenna homebrew, his own switches, coax. I mean, that's just what he did. I mean, that's,
Well, back when I first started and when Ken first started, a lot of stuff was homebrew.
Yep.
yeah. So I think, and then, he didn't have terribly a whole lot of money too. So it made him kind of get creative.
Back in 1960, who had a lot of money?
Right. Right.
I mean, I
sure
was a dumb, when you're a dumb kid, you don't have a lot of money. That's for sure.
Yep, that was me.
Me too.
I scraped and I used some military surplus stuff and
Right.
some heat kit stuff and then some stuff I built, homebrew stuff.
But then when he retired, I think he enjoyed doing that. And so,
Mm-hmm. Hey, I've done that all my life and I can't stop. I just keep
yeah,
doing it.
I was like, well, why don't you buy something new? And he's like, there ain't no fun in that. He said, what, you might have to read the manual. So, that was just what they did, and I learned some stuff along the way. So,
Stuff's so complicated anymore. Would be really difficult to build like a transceiver or something.
I've built transceivers, receivers, transmitters, amplifiers, all that stuff.
Wow. You built receivers from scratch, huh?
From scratch, yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
Tube and transistor.
that's work.
Receiver is harder to build than transmitter.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But antennas is fun. I like antennas, not dipoles, Yaggies. That's
No, I'm definitely.
something you could do, Bill, when you get ready to put up a bigger antenna. You just build you a big old single band, they call a monobander, 20-meter antenna with a 20-foot boom on it or something.
Yeah. Oh, I have a picture of one of them too.
I have a homebrew 10-meter monobander, and it's got a 25-foot boom on it.
wow.
When you point that at somebody, they hear you, I guarantee you.
Yep, they certainly do.
What sort of gain does that have, Ken?
Man, I built that thing, and must have been 15, 20 years ago. And I can't remember how much gain it's got. It seems like it's like 13 dBs, something like that.
Holy
And,
mackerel.
and it had a real high front to back because back then, whenever 10 meters was open pretty good, and whenever I'm pointed toward Europe, them California guys was running illegal power
Yeah.
coming in the back of my antenna. So I built that with a 30 dB front to back on it so I could block out them guys that was behind me.
That's still going on, Ken?
It was and it was computer generated, had a computer program to, yeah, it's still up in the air. And there's a picture of it on grz.com. Down at the bottom, you can see part of it. And right below it is a rotatable 40-meter rotatable dipole that's full size. It's 66 feet long, aluminum dipole.
Good grief.
And it was a bear to get up in the air. Me and my daughter-in-law put it up in the air.
I'm going to have to drive over there one of these days and look at all, just look at your antenna farm.
You're down there by the Grand Casino, right?
Yeah, I'm south of I-40, straight north of Shawnee Lake.
Yeah, I know. I have to go out there every Wednesday.
Where do you go?
We deliver beer out to that Travel Plaza and the Grand Casino. It's our last stop of the day. We're usually there about noon.
At the Grand Casino area. You deliver beer there?
Yeah, the Travel Plaza and the Grand Casino.
Well, that's just right across the interstate from me.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I'm in a small addition here. There's about, I don't know, 6 houses in this little addition. Everybody's got a couple acres or so. And we're kind of by ourselves. I like it that way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm getting that way.
That's good, because if you were in a neighborhood somewhere, they wouldn't appreciate that, all those antennas.
Yeah, I tell them that that's keeping their house from getting struck by lightning.
I was joking with my wife on the way home today, and I was saying, what if we cut down that tree back there and we replaced it with a tower? Wouldn't that look beautiful? And you could see it on your way in, and you get full sunlight.
Yeah, I think aluminum is beautiful.
And there's a guy up there on I think it's on 24th Northeast, up by Reagan Elementary School. And you can see his step IR whenever you turn down that road. So there's a Sinclair station right there on Highway 9, and you turn down that road, and there's that step IR, man. It sticks out like a sore thumb. I think it's beautiful.
On Highway 9, east of Norman?
Oh, it's up by, if you knew where Reagan Elementary is, it's on 24th.
No, but I don't know where it is. But you said is it east of Norman on Highway 9?
Yeah. It's east on 24th and Highway 9. It's right across the street from the school there.
Well, there's a station out there that I think is a Sinclair, but I don't remember where it's at. My daughter lives out there on the south side of Highway 9. They got 20 acres and a big rock house. It's kind of hard to see from the.
No, this is in a neighborhood.
Okay, you know where on Highway 9, you know where the guy that's got the airmail mailbox, he's got 2 mailboxes, one up high.
Yep.
Okay, well, the next driveway east of there on the south side where my daughter and her husband live.
Yeah. Well, this tower that I'm talking about, he's in a neighborhood, and I'm sure they love him.
I think, didn't Mark Klein live out in there somewhere?
He lives off 84th.
Well, Ken, maybe you'll get a chance to use that 10-meter beam here in a year or so. I don't know.
There's every once in a while, I don't hardly ever think to get on it, but my daughter-in-law is a ham, and whenever she first got her license, she worked Australia with 5 watts on that beam.
Wow.
And I can't remember what mode that was. It was a digital mode. That was before FT8 though. It might have been JT9, which was my favorite mode anyway.
You don't get on phone anymore?
Say again?
You get on phone at all?
I don't even know where my microphone's at.
So you strictly use digital modes, Ken?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, unless it's 2 meters or something. I used to do CW, but I don't hardly do CW much anymore.
You don't work sideband on 20 or?
I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I do it daily.
And all my moonbound stuff is digital mode. I don't wear out my voice that way. Well, let me tell you, digital mode is a very narrow bandwidth. JT9 is really, really narrow. It's like 6 hertz wide. So you're putting a lot of power in a narrow bandwidth, and you really cut through the noise. And a single sideband signal is almost 3 kilohertz wide, 3,000 hertz wide. And a JT9 digital signal, 6 hertz wide. See the difference?
Yeah.
See what you can do with 100 watts by having a narrow bandwidth.
I guess FT8's real narrow band too also.
Yeah, it's not as narrow. I can't remember. Mike, do you know the bandwidth of FT8? Oh, he's muted.
What was the question?
Do you know the bandwidth of FT8? It's like 50 hertz or something like
I
that.
think it's 60 hertz.
60 hertz or
50
Yeah,
hertz.
60.
50.
60.
No, it's 50.
50, okay. I think that's what I said. Hello, Sam.
Hey guys, I'm down here at Elmer night. Just wanted to log on and say hi. And
Well, I didn't know you could get on like that down there. Everybody else stands out in the middle of the room and hollers at it.
well, I brought my computer.
Oh, there you go.
I brought my laptop, and
Fantastic.
so I'm sitting here. We got all sorts of stuff going on. I'm
We do
playing with
too.
APRS and all sorts of stuff. Anyway,
All the good conversations going on over here.
I'm going to have a terrible time hearing you guys, and I don't know how you can hear me, but anyway, a lot of background noise. So I'm just going to say goodbye. But I just wanted to get on here and say hello and
All right. Glad you did, Sam.
talk to you guys later.
All right. See you later.
7-3, Sam.
That was nice of him to get on there for a little bit.
Yeah. They sat down the front row too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be off here in less than 5 minutes, guys. So
Yeah, I'm about to
Get on
back
it.
out of here for the Aries net. So
Well, I'm glad you guys got on at least.
yes, sir. You guys have a good week.
You too.
Well,
Hey,
going to the,
y'all going, anybody going to that picnic
I am.
Saturday?
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
am.
to go, but it's just a long ways for me to drive.
it's OU Texas weekend.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
It's gonna be traffic
Oh,
like crazy from here.
some people have their priorities, I guess.
Right? It's
Yeah.
at, is it at OU or at Texas?
No, we're at Cotton Bowl. in Dallas.
Yeah, so.
So I'm gonna miss the meeting on Saturday, and I'm gonna miss that too. So
Well, you be careful down there amongst all them yahoos.
all the drunks, Scott, if you can avoid the drunks, you're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's
the
all you
cops,
gotta do.
and the cops.
Yeah, I don't understand why you'd want to go to a football game and get hammered, but God, it takes away. We were at the went to the West Virginia game, and there was a guy sitting in front of us. He couldn't even watch the game because he was so drunk.
Yeah,
He had his hands in his lap the entire, I think, for 3/4 until I think his wife got him out of there.
yeah. What's the fun in that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You paid all that money to sit and stare at the bleachers.
Yeah.
So, but you guys have a good week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay, John, be careful.
You too.
Are you thinking about or thought about going to that picnic there, Bill? Did you get the email?
Well, if I did, I missed it. Who's having the picnic?
I don't know him, but just a minute and I'll pull up the email. Okay, it's at Denny's Ranch, which is south of Noble, and I don't. Oh, his call sign is WA6 Delta Kilo Delta, and I don't know him, but I'm kind of new to the club, and I've been a member a long time, but I haven't been going since all this coronavirus.
I can understand that. My wife and I were really, really, really careful for over a year until the vaccines came out. Then we both got the vaccines, and I quit wearing a mask.
Yeah, me too.
And guess what?
You got it?
I got it.
Dang.
Yeah,
And-
that's what I said.
And you was even wearing a mask.
Well,
I mean, you wasn't wearing a mask, but
no,
you had the shots.
after I got vaccinated, the prevailing wisdom was you don't need to wear a mask now.
Yeah,
So I had quit wearing a mask, and
man.
guy I know who wasn't vaccinated came out, and I wasn't really that close to him. We were out in my shop, and anyway, he called me. That was on a Monday, and he called me on Thursday or Friday and said, "I've got COVID." And I said, "Yeah, me too."
Wow. Did you?
But I didn't have a very bad case.
Yeah,
I mean,
you was
I hadn't
because
had
you
the
had the
vaccine.
shots.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just heard. I'm going to get that booster as soon as I can. But I had Moderna, and they're not giving the booster for that yet. But if you had Pfizer, you can get a booster shot now for it.
Wonder why you just couldn't take a booster of the Pfizer.
I don't know. I haven't asked them that, but
I think I kind of got a booster when I got COVID and got over it.
yeah, me too. But I heard also today that the people that have had COVID are not as well protected as the people that had shots.
Well, I've had both,
Yeah, you have. But
2 shots and COVID.
yeah, you may still need a booster.
Well, I wouldn't argue with you there at all.
Yeah.
I would think that would probably be a pretty good idea.
I'm going to get one. Well, do you remember, was your shot Moderna or Pfizer?
Pfizer.
So you can get a booster now.
Yeah.
Just tell them, come in for my booster. You don't have to tell them you got COVID or anything. But the more coverage you can get, the better off you are from people like that. And plus, I don't want to have to wear a mask if I don't have to. I
Yeah,
guess
I'd
I'm gonna
start,
have to start. I'm gonna have to start wearing my mask again, I guess.
I did. After I recovered from the COVID, I started wearing a mask again when I'm out and around,
Yeah.
like Lowe's or the
I
super.
went to Lowe's today, did not wear a mask.
After I came down with a case of it, I decided I'd wear a mask again.
I guess I will dig my mask out again. But
So you think a 3-inch diameter pipe,
yeah,
about 15 foot out of the ground?
yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
14 or 15 or 16, whatever you can come up with. But it needs to be in the ground 3 foot with foot of concrete around it.
I'll have 4 foot of concrete that I can stick it in.
Yeah,
So if I got a 20-foot section,
yeah,
stuck 5 foot or
5 foot in the ground, you'd have
5 foot in the ground and 15 foot above would be about right.
Yeah. What I did, I can't remember exactly how big. I'm pretty sure this piece of pipe I got is 4-inch, and then I took a cut slot in the end of it, and where that the center of the pulley would slip down maybe an inch from the top of the slot, and then I put a pin through it, a bolt through there. So
Where'd you say you got the pulley?
It's off of an old cellar.
Oh, okay.
You know the cellar door,
Yep.
the old pulleys. It's one of
Yeah.
them, and it's a Haas cast iron pulley, and I just happened to run across it, some junk place, and bought it for a few bucks, thinking, man, that's what I need, because I had looked everywhere for a pulley. I looked at all kinds of places. I could not find one. I could find pulleys, but they were weenies, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to pay good money for one that wasn't tough. So I come across that thing. So you got to keep your eyeballs open for a good pulley. But I'm just saying, if you get a piece of pipe before you stick it in the ground, need to take it somewhere and have them cut a slot in the top. The problem, and that's the reason to have a bigger diameter piece of pipe, because those tongs that are sticking up are going to be much stronger on the bigger diameter piece of pipe. There's going to be more meat there.
True. Yeah,
Because,
give
depending
you
on
more room in there for your pulley to operate.
Yeah, well, if your pulleys, the part where the bolt goes through there, or the pin, if that's 2 inches wide and you got a 3-inch pipe, you don't have much room on each side.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, I'll start looking around, see what I can find on a pulley.
Of course, you don't have to have a pulley that's that big, but I don't think I have a picture that shows my pulley.
Well, Ken, I think about everybody's about deserted us.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got a good radio and got some stuff going. You just really went crazy here after you retired, didn't you, Bill?
Well, I've been retired for a while, actually.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, since '83.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
retired.
Since when?
'83. I'm sorry.
2003.
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah. I retired at 2000. I was 60 and a half, and I'm 82 now. So I've been enjoying many years of retirement here.
Yeah, I've been had a number of years of retirement myself.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot better than getting up and going to work every morning. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Driving from here to building 102.
Yeah, you had a lot longer drive than I did. We we had this piece of property down here, this 10 acres, for a while, but I didn't really want to build on it and have to drive all that distance.
Mhm.
So we waited till I retired before we started the house. And
Yeah. So you knew John Ryder, huh?
oh yeah, I knew most everybody out there. I'm
I
I'm
guess
surprised I didn't know you. I really
you knew,
am.
you knew Steve Genheimer?
Yeah, I knew Steve real well.
See, me and him worked together a long time before he ever became a boss. He was an engineer when I worked with him,
Yeah, I knew Steve.
and we worked upstairs in 102, close to the West End on the south side.
Yeah, we had the downstairs portion of 102
Uh,
on the
funny, I've forgotten the
west end.
names of all them people. You know,
Me too, Ken. I have to, a lot of them. I really have.
let's see. Bob Bremer was in our group, and let's see. Gosh, can't remember
Yeah, neither can I.
them.
I'm the same way. It's embarrassing when you
Well,
meet somebody that says, "Bill, how you doing?" And you can't remember their
the
name.
thing of it is, it's been all those years, and unless it was someone real close to me, I just don't and haven't even thought about them. So when it comes time to try to remember them, I just can't pull it out.
Yeah.
I know there was an engineer, Dennis Castle, that I know he passed away not too long ago.
Oh, Dennis died? Really?
Yeah. I don't remember what but it might have been a year or so ago whenever I
Yeah, he was younger than me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, all of them was younger than me. Yeah. But and John Ryder's son, I knew him real well.
Yeah, he worked for me one summer as an intern. I think his name was it Mike?
Mike, that's it. Yeah. Mhm. I did wildlife photography back then, and he wanted to go with me on a trip one time, so I took him to Lawton at the wildlife refuge down there one Saturday, and we did wildlife photography. We shot a bunch of prairie dogs.
Yeah, Mike was, while Mike was still in school, he interned one summer out there in our group. I ought to remember more names than I do, but I wish there was an annual with the pictures of the names
Yeah.
in it.
Well, they needed a website for the retirees.
Well, they did have a website for a while. I don't know if it's still active or not. They had a website, and they had monthly get-togethers at some.
Really?
Yeah, it was cafeteria, big cafeteria thing in Oklahoma City.
Mhm. Well,
And
whenever
I
I
think-
retired, me and my wife, we traveled. We did a lot of traveling. Man, the first year that I retired, we went on 6 vacations.
Yeah, you did the right thing. When I retired, I started building the house.
Yeah.
And
We had already had this one built.
we did some traveling, but I'd like to travel more now, but I just don't have the energy anymore.
Yeah, that's me. My wife passed away a few years ago, and I have no desire to go anywhere like that by myself.
Yeah, I understand that I wouldn't either.
We
My wife is in really good health. My health's kind of flaky, and she has the energy to travel, but I don't.
Yeah. Well,
which,
I have just, the past year or so, my energy's really gone down. It's getting harder and harder for me to climb towers and do things like that. You know, I'm building these antennas for the 432 moon bound stuff and put them up on a little small tower and stuff. And that just tires me out. I'm done by noon. I have to quit by noon.
yeah, I understand what you're saying for sure.
Especially
But
when it's hot weather, it really gets me.
I've quit climbing ladders and getting on roofs, and
How old are you, Bill?
I'm just turned 76.
I-
But three years ago, I was climbing over a fence and tripped, and it shouldn't have been anything, but I stuck my right arm out in front of me to break the fall, and just tore my shoulder all,
Yeah.
tore all the rotator cuff tendons loose. Ended
Yeah.
up having to have an artificial shoulder joint put in.
Yep.
And
That'll slow you down.
oh, it did. I haven't been the same since that. I really haven't. That really took it out of me.
And that's why I should slow down before I do something like that to myself.
Well, the thing about it is that you got to realize is when you injure yourself, when you're 23 or 24, you heal fairly fast.
Yeah.
When
Not the,
when you're our age, you don't heal fast,
I know
if
it.
at all.
It seems
My
like
shoulder's still, even though it's got an artificial joint in it, I have pain in that arm nearly all the time. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
And
achy arm.
another thing I've noticed when I hurt myself, it hurts more and it hurts longer.
I agree. Well, Ken, you want to call it quits here?
Yeah, it's a little after 8. I guess I will see you next time. I'm glad you got a radio, and I'm glad you got a good radio, and sounds like you're on your way there, and I know you're going to enjoy it. And
Well, I hope so. I was looking for something that I could do that didn't take a lot of energy.
yeah, it's nice to have a hobby. I guarantee you.
Oh, I've got to have something to do. Yeah.
Me too. Well, if you have any questions, you can always get a hold to me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that because obviously I've been out so long that everything I remember is ancient.
Well, you know, we have this website, I can never remember the name of it, Discord. Are you on that?
Not that I know of.
It's
No.
a chat page, and there's a few of us get on there. Mike's on there, and Peter's on there. He talks to us every once in a while. Peter W5UWY, and I'm on there. Me and Mike's on there a lot, talking back and forth to each other. But it's a it's a chat page, and you have to be invited to it. And I don't know. I have your call sign, so let me make sure I write your call sign down. I don't know what it would take for me to send you an invite because I'm new to it myself, but I'll try to figure it out. We are KI5RMQ.
That's it.
Well, if you get a invite, you'll know what it is.
Okay.
It's called Discord. Matter of fact, the web thing is https://discord.com. But I'll see if I can send you a link. Oh, I guess your email address good on qrz.com in case I need that. Bill,
Yes.
is your email address good on qrz.com?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It
I don't
is.
know if I need that or not. Probably will. All right, I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, good to talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.